All right. Namaste, great souls. Wonderful to have another satsang together, connecting together in truth and spirit and flow. And I was going to keep it more, simple today. Connecting to the earth because it is Earth Day. I mean, that's always a good consideration of how we can give back to the earth, we can tend to her. And it will be grounding a lot in our practices and also with water and flow. So earth, grounding, water and flow. So rather than speak a lot in the beginning, let's just get into the practice together. Okay. So I'm going to roll back. Okay, sitting comfortably with any kind of supports that work for you. And we're going to just really root down. So first feel the sit bones connecting to the earth and then extending your fingertips to touch the earth. Feel that support underneath you, but also lengthen through the crown, through to the sky, and feel that support. So once you're grounded and feel the support, then you can, let's place our hands down. That's more rooting. We know turning the palms up is more upward lifting, but let's root down and begin our pranayama with exhaling through the mouth. We'll inhale as the shoulders lift by the ears to 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. The upper body comes forward slightly. Tuck the chin to the hollow at the throat. Hold. And then we're going to exhale to 5 again. Exhale through the mouth. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll do this several rounds. Inhaling, shoulders reach up to the ears. 3, 4, 5. Tuck the chin. This is Alaka Bandha. Focus at the spiritual eye. And then exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feel the heart expanding as the elbows come down. One more time. Inhale, upper body juts forward, shoulders to the ears. 3, 4, 5. Tuck the chin to the hollow at the throat. Hold the breath till it feels comfortable. And then when you're ready, exhale. What can we let go of? What can we feel more ease in? Just focusing on that releasing and softening. Circling as 3 times in one direction. Feeling the energy in the root chakra and also in the belly. Okay. And as we do, noticing what brings you to the mat today and otherwise your intention. Let that speak to you in the language of your heart. It could come through now, it can come through throughout the class or later in the class. So let's go ahead and take a wide child's pose, meaning that the knees are wider than the hips. It's actually a prayer pose. Child's is with the arms by our side. We're stretching our arms out. If possible, resting the spiritual eye, the 6th chakra, our seat of intuition, and just rocking gently side to side if that works for your neck. Sometimes it helps to bring the wrists up as you do this. Just opening, we're opening to our higher wisdom self. That's always the goal of yoga, is to return and live in our higher wisdom. We want to reflect on what channel we're on throughout the day, the various channels of the mind. I'm going to bring it back to intuition and wisdom. Okay, we're going to round up. And we're going to do our push-up, ease back flow. So blanket is good for the knees. So we'll start with the wrists slightly in front of the shoulders. We're going to add a push-up. Knees underneath the hips. And then we're going to round back. So we're going to tuck the tailbone under. We're going to go into yin phase. And then I'm going to expand, come forward. It's a little bit of an arc, but not so much as we do our push-up. We're going to do 2 here, 2 pulses if possible. Elbows in. Lighten up the muscles, wrap it around the bones, and then ease back. Lift the chin again to the hollow of the throat. So definitely can't help but feel that yang solar energy. 2 pulses, navel to the spine. And that yin energy collecting and gathering. Hear the oceanic sound. And this time, let's see if we could do 3 pulses of the push-up. Keep those elbows in, go at your pace. Exhaling and releasing back. And let's release back again into the wide open prayer pose. Feel the fullness of the breath in all the poses. And we're going to round up. Rounded cat. We'll do our cat kicks. So draw that left knee in. We're going to draw the right knee toward the forehead. It's probably not going to touch. That's not the goal. Stretch the legs straight out and up. If you want to add a push-up, looking to the front of the mat. And then we fold in. We'll do 3 on each side. Cat kicks, these are called. Lengthening and strengthening. Rounded cat. Extend out and push up and push down. Turn the back toes under of that right foot. Really start to open the hamstring. I like to do a down dog in between to really get the full body stretch going. So before we go to the other side, lift the tailbone up and take our time here of really treading out the heels. Big exhales. Keep pressing into the base of the fingers. Spreading the toes. Magnetizing the heart toward the thighs. And feel that calm, peaceful energy perhaps radiating through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. Calm, yet alert awareness. That's the key, is energy, calm energy, clear energy is the best. And then, especially as we tune in to our higher guidance, that calm, clear energy. All right, we're going to draw now the right knee in, left knee toward the forehead, won't touch, most likely extend the leg, and then lift up and push down or push up. A few more times. Round, and then feel the wonderful extension and strength. And curling in. And extension out. Okay, of course, the same thing as turning those left toes under, but it will feel different on this lunar side as we pulse back and forth and just get a sense of our left lunar side of the body. Inviting that witness observer self in. And then we go ahead and bend both knees, hover the knees off the ground for a couple breaths. Toes turn under. And then pour back to a full extension. I'm doing a bit of the opposite, pressing more weight to the right hand, left foot by bending the right knee. Letting here a couple breaths in the cross diagonal. And then when it feels right, shifting. More weight in the left hand, right foot. Elongating the spine. Feel the space between each vertebra and that calm energy radiating through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. Any affirmation that works for you. So feel the strength and let's ripple. Feel the flow. Bend the knees, rippling, rooting, grounding, flowing to plank, rippling back to down dog. One more time, plank, and then like water, rippling back. And make small circles with the head or go side to side for the neck. And then start to walk your hands towards your feet towards your hands. Both can happen simultaneously. Uttanasana. Let's rest the palms at the hollows of the elbows, slight bend of the knees. Relaxing unnecessary mental burdens. Again, tuning into what channel we're on in our mind. Sometimes we're creating stories that aren't even real. That's a common thing. So you just come back to the breath. Go back to this moment. Know that when you're aware of the things the mind is doing, you have much more locus of control to bring it back. Now we're going to bend the knees, lift the heart, take a moment in chair, Uttanasana, and sweeping forward, keeping the knees bent, and then one sweep back. Big exhale. Sweeping forward. And then this time we're going to rise up. I'm going to come to the front of the mat. Rise up. Lift off the heels. And feel like our hands are like a waterfall, sprinkling energy down, clearing the aura, clearing any of that mind stuff that is maybe overthinking, overdoing, opinions, etc. They're very helpful. And then coming back to the heart. So very simple practice. So much of psychology and yoga is noticing what the mind is doing, and if it's going off to a channel we don't like, bring it back. I like to bring it back to the heart. That gives me the wisdom self, any sensations of sight, sound, taste, touch. So feel the heartbeat. Feel the heartbeat. Breathe into the heart. Return to your true self. The wisdom guidance of the soul. Much better channel to be on. And we're going to bring to mind, we're going to do a flowing sun. We're going to bring to mind anybody we'd like to send healing prayers to. First, you can come into Namaste or classic. That's a classic way to approach the sun salute, or the Eagle Heart Mudra. But we're saluting to that light within. And we're also feeling the ground underneath us, rooting down, earth energy. So the sky and the upward energy, but coming from our roots, tapping into the spiritual eye. Here, we're tapping, our individual selves tapping into it. The crown, offering prayers of care to others as we lengthen and grow. And then not jamming into the lumbar, but arcing back. Couple breaths here. Excellent. Inhale, lengthen up. And that waterfall energy again. That waterfall energy sprinkling down. And we come down into a moment of our forward fold. And we're going to step it back to our three-legged dog, if this is in your practice, or regular down dog. Elongate the spine, feel the space between each vertebra. Take your time. If that right leg can come up, extend it up. And open through the hip, but keep that right shoulder drawing down. We're going to take this, our knee hover a little bit slower, meaning our right knee, if possible, when we come into plank, is going to come toward our right shoulder, then our right elbow, then over to our left elbow, and then uppers to the left shoulder. So I'm going to quite go there, but in that direction, and then kick it back again. Okay, let's focus on these 4 points one more time. Right knee, right shoulder, right elbow, great for the core and strength. Left elbow, left shoulder, just a little bit higher than the elbow, extending that leg up. Okay, from here, bending the knee and stepping through. You could do it gradually, and we pulse up, lift the belly, heart, head, and then we lower that left knee down and shimmy shake the hips. Good. Twisting gently or deeply into those hip flexors. Awareness of the internal dialogue. Get to do that really clearly on the mat, and then we take it off the mat on a regular day. Keep returning to our wisdom self. And we've been working out what that means to you, right? Okay, from our classic lunge, what we're going to do here is just turn the back toes under the left toes, strong through that left leg, walk your right hand in, step it back to plank. Couple breaths. We can either do the knee, chest, chin chaturanga or the classic chaturanga. So I'm going to start with the knee, chest, chin, then extend the legs, and then the elbows out to the side as we create that figure 8, swirling prana and the shoulders, the scapula. So there's a slight lift up here to get the flow going. Go side to side or make that circular movement. All right, locust pose, Salambhasana, arms by our side to start, and we'll do a couple series here. Getting that restlessness out from the spine, recharging it with vitality. Inhale, lift the upper body and the legs. Pulse it up. Exhale, soften a little bit through the mouth. Now, on our next inhale, we're going to sweep this right arm forward. Swim it forward, lift the leg, pulse up, and then sweep that right arm back. Pulse down. You guessed it, the left side. The left arm sweeps forward, pulse up. Exhale, ease down. Both arms out to the side. Inhale, recharging the spine. And then taking rest. Returning back, or maybe never leaving the spiritual eye. We could just ground there, or we can rock gently side to side. Notice what feels best to you in this moment. Main thing is to feel the fullness of the breath, the life force energy. Okay. I'm gonna rise up and just tune into what opportunities are going to greet us today as we bring our hands underneath our shoulders, our legs are strong. And inhale, pressing energy through the legs, the spine. You could be in partial cobra or king cobra, coming off the knees, sticking out the tongue, eye gaze up. Lion's breath. Reflecting on the speech. Okay, knees touch down. And rounded cat, toes turn under. I'm going to walk my hands back a bit. Scooping it out. You guessed it. And we keep flowing. Hover those knees off the ground a couple breaths. And then to pour back to full down dog. See how much you could ground for whatever's touching the earth. You want rooting down, the places it can root down, the hands and the feet. Parts of the hands and the feet. And that calm energy and that clarity radiating through every cell of the body, every fiber of your being. Okay, the left three-legged dog is in your practice. Perhaps the left leg lifts up. And here's where we do those 4 points as best as possible. Coming into plank, drawing the left knee toward the left shoulder, left elbow, right shoulder. You see it's pretty far from my right shoulder, which is fine. Extending up, knee toward the left shoulder, left elbow, right elbow, toward the right shoulder, take it back. Our variation. In a giant step through or step through into a lunge. We can use blocks here as we get the ankle knee perpendicular. We pulse and lift the belly, hard head, and then round. One more time, pulse up, and we come on top of your right knee. Start to really hydrate those hips again. I'm going to walk a little deeper stretch if I walk my left arm inside and let that left knee come out to the side further. Flowing. Let's see how we could nourish the earth or inquiring about that within. How we can nourish our body and mind. And bringing one form down, perhaps in the other. Taking a little deeper. Okay. And from here, we're going to lift the heart and we're going to step it back again. So I'm going to bring my left hand by the little toe side of the foot, come off that right knee, step it back to plank. Create that strong line of energy. Before we come all the way down, a little challenging would be a side plank, Vashisthasana, with the left hand down and turning to the side. If that's too much, you can bring your left knee down and get the side opening. It's recharging in our side plank. Not here too long. We come back down. Same thing. We step the right hand in the middle, come onto the side of the feet. That's too much. You bend your right knee and come into your variation here of knee down plank. Breathing in, recharging the spine. Okay. And then coming back, let's come into regular plank and then forearm plank. One forearm down, then the other. Couple breaths. All these are strengthening as we let the tops of the thighs touch down, uncurl the toes. And why not? Let's take another ripple through the shoulders while we're here. If mind's drifted, which it does, just bring it back to sensation, the body and the breath, sound, sight, and let the hands now reach forward. I'm going to do a locust. This is the more harder version. Anytime the arms are reaching forward, we're going to do an opposite. Right arm, left leg, pulse it up. Couple breaths suspended here. The restlessness out, recharging the spine with the good stuff. Exhale, ease, tapping into the spiritual eye. And then, of course, the left arm, right leg, pulsing up. 2 or 3 breath cycles. Really don't have to come away from our wisdom self and our minds. And if we do, we can return to the heart, spiritual eye, crown. Wherever that is for you, bring the hands underneath the shoulders again. We're going to rise up to greet this day, to greet the moment by moment awareness of opportunities. Whatever appears here, we're going to breathe into it today. Inhaling, adding that lion's breath. Maybe the knees come off, maybe they don't. All right. And then that yin phase is symbolic of returning, but it could happen at any moment, returning to the wisdom guidance of the soul. So stretching out, the hands could be out in front or by your side. Three conscious breaths here, maybe more. And we'll round up. Rounded cat and scoop it out. Cat cow. And transition with the toes under neutral spine at this point. Back to our forward fold. Into Uttanasana this time, walking our hands underneath the soles of the feet. Rocking side to side. Release any pressure buildup. While the wrists. Relaxing, casting aside any unnecessary mental burdens. And releasing, bending the knees. If you want to come up with a rounded spine, you're more than welcome to. Want to come up in chair, I'll demonstrate the sprinkling rounded spine variation. Bringing those others. We'd like to send healing energy to. Tapping into the crown, spiritual eye, wisdom of the heart, and rooting down, yielding, connecting to Mother Earth, Father Sky. These elements, of course, are within us and all around us. All right, let's move into Warrior 2 series and Goddess pose in between, a bit of a flow. So it's a wide stance. How about this? Let me get out. Let's start with our right knee, right foot turned out. Right knee is going to bend over that second toe, left foot 30-degree angle. The tendency to bring the upper body forward. We're keeping those hips and shoulders aligned as we root down toward the earth. And then feel the arms with the palms down, rooting down. And then feel the shift when the palms turn up. We're going to inhale, pulse it a few times. We're going to inhale and joyfully feel that expansion of the wisdom self that's here, but we're tuning in. And then the exhale, let's bring the palms down as we exhale, looking over toward those right fingertips. Do a little pulse. Turn the palms up, joyfully manifesting the power of the divine. And then feel that spacious awareness all around you as well as within you. Okay, now from here, we bring the hands up. We turn the toes in. It's a pretty wide stance, so I'm going to heel toed in a bit. You find what works for you. Toes are going to go out in Goddess pose. And then we're going to bring the hands to the heart and pulse in our squat. Feel that, really connect to that earth energy, really feel the pelvis, psoas down to the legs, connected to earth. Strong, it's meant to be strong. Take a rest here in a moment by lifting back up and then out to the side. Very good. Okay, left toes turning out, left knee coming over, right foot 30 degrees. Make sure you're not lunging forward with the upper body. Shoulders, hips, somewhat in alignment. Expansive, strong, rooting down, connected to the earth and connected to the sky as we pulse up and down. Looking over our left fingertips. And the affirmation is, I joyfully manifest the power of the divine. Power of the divine is within me and all around me. Yoga, that's what it's about. Individual self uniting with the infinite. Within and without. Turning the palms up again. We're going to reach up. Turn the left toes in. And then bring the arms out. As I'm going to bring my hands on my hips as the heels come in. But make sure the toes are out for our goddess pose. So we root down. Pulsing. Open those toes if you can. Feel the 4 points of the feet. Grounding. And then to create some heat. And then we add our twist. We bring our hands, the inside of the knee, look over the right shoulder, extend the left arm, twist. And then back to center. Rooting again. Twisting to the other side. Bending the left elbow, extending the right arm. And the sound of the breath. The wisdom guidance of the soul. And then back to center. And then we'll go ahead and turn the toes in. Hands to the heart. Opening up expansion of the heart. Feel the space all around you, interlocking if you can, or hands on your hips as you come into your forward fold. So first squeeze and soak, and then hinge forward. Pulse with this one, knuckles up to the sky, crown of the head toward the earth. That cleansing of the mind, if you find yourself on that channel that's habitual and compulsive and doesn't really work in terms of expansion, go ahead and switch that channel. Wrists are now underneath the shoulders. Bring it to the heart channel. A lot of times the brain's just used to being on a channel. There's a compulsive thinking channel, which of course we need for planning, all that good stuff, etc. But then it tends to stay almost stuck there sometimes. Don't want to shift it. We can shift it. We're capable of the higher mind, the intellect, and the wisdom. All right, lengthening out with the fingertips again, stretching forward. Space between each vertebra, walking the hands back. I'm going to heel toe my feet in a bit and then come up from that. More of a squat, somewhat like we did earlier. And coming back to our mountain pose. Root it down. Feel that. Those tendrils going way deep, the center of the earth. And then from the feet to the legs, to the spine, through the crown, to the sky. Okay, I'm gonna get a sip of lemon water here and check the time to see how we're doing. Oh, 11:11. How about that? The angels are singing at 11:11. So I'm told. All right, we have time for another standing pose before we go to the floor. Let's go into our triangle and revolve triangle. So make sure you have your block. Always looking at forward bending, back bending, twisting movements for complete practice and some type of balance and inversion. So what we're going to do is our balance pose first in honor of Earth Day, and that will be tree pose. So let's place I'm going to come to the front of the mat this way, but I'll face you, but you'll be facing the front. You can have your block either lower or higher, whatever feels best to you. So put it this way. And we're going to, and that's if you want to, you're gonna look at a point on the front of you, root down through the left foot. That's if you want to place your foot on the block, or you can place your foot on the calf, just not on the knee, or the thigh. Then, once you're there on the block, calf or thigh, maybe the branches of the tree open up. We're gazing at a drishti point out in front of you. Even if you're wobbling, you're affirming, I am calm, I am strong. I am calm, I am strong. Really feel those roots underneath you, all connected, all belonging. Not here long. And then tapping down, tapping maybe onto the block, swirling it out. I'm going to go to the other side. Over here. If you happen to have a balance where you can look at a tree, that would be awesome. Rooting down through the right foot. Finding your drishti gaze. See how this side does by either placing your foot lightly on the block, because you still want to get that balance through the right leg and foot, calf, or perhaps thigh. It's fairly even. Maybe those branches could reach up. I'm calm, I am strong. Even if you wobble and fall off, you're affirming our highest truth. Calm, I am poised, I'm strong. I'm rooted, I'm grounded. And those roots draw down, they're like a family underneath the earth. They're connecting with each other. What can I do to help support the earth? As we tap in and release out gradually, you could tap onto the block. Move it back out to the side, swirl around. Good. Okay. As promised, classic triangle. Turn the right toes out, left toes in 30 degrees. Oh yeah, I should have kept my block here to use a block if you'd like. It's wonderful to use either in front of the foot or behind it. Place it in front. Opening the heart. Belly dance arms. Festival season is here in Northern California. Happy about that live music outdoors. We're going to expand and reach open. Take your time. Energy and joy. Slide that hand down lightly. We're not collapsing down ever. We're still feeling the strength of the legs, the spine, and head to tail connected. Perhaps this left arm comes up. Energy and joy. Fill my body cells. You can swirl it, or you can keep that arm extended. If it's too much on the shoulder, you can bring it down. Okay, make it work for you, of course. Energy and joy. Fill my body cells. We got a beautiful warm weekend here. Very happy about that. Joyful about that. And then from here, as that arm comes down, we're going to bend our right knee just enough to rise up gracefully, rooting down and rising. And then taking our time to twist and turn our triangle. So I'm going to bring that back foot in. Feet about hip width apart. You can still have the block here as our friend. Right hip back, left hip forward, tailbone down. Revolve and twist. You can also do a bent knee triangle twist if this is too much. Exhale. Take your time. Revolve from the left corner of the abdomen to the right, twisting the spine, feeling the strength of the legs, and then floating that arm up. Head to tail connected. Add the mudra. So as things are twisting and turning, I'm still connected to my center. What channel am I on? And come back to the divine if I find myself going away. All those difficult mind channels. Bring it back to the wisdom of the heart. In fact, we're going to rest deeply in our pyramid, really literally dropping in symbolically to the wisdom of the heart and physically. So that becomes our baseline more and more, resting in the wisdom of the heart. The mind's going to do its thing. It's a beautiful thing when it's on the right, best channel. And there's lots of channels in the mind. Just don't want to get stuck on that compulsive, opinionated channel. All right, let's get into our triangle to the other side. Left toes face out, right foot in, expansive flow, flowing. Belly dance arms, and then the strength and the support as we reach over. I miss having class, and a lot of times the pop I'd hear a good pop happen in my body and others' bodies live. You might hear it yourself there. It's usually a good sound. Lengthen and grow here. Elongate the spine. Add the mudra. Thumb, index finger together. And affirming either out loud or inwardly. You can have the arms stay here or flow. Energy and joy fill my body cells. Energy and joy fill my body cells. It gets quieter. First you can say it louder, then quieter, and maybe softly or inwardly. Wonderful side body stretch. When this arm comes over, we bend the left knee and we help to lift up. It's called Dance in Our Warrior here. I'm going to wrap this right arm around. Arcing, almost a standing half moon feeling in the upper body. And then from there, get ready for the revolve triangle. Flowing vinyasa. Beautiful. So stepping the back foot in more 30 degrees and facing that left hip back, right hip forward. Take your time. Think of rooting down and sending a power line through the back heel. And the right arm comes up. And we hinge forward. Forward. Before we even twist, I like to take my hand on that right corner of the abdomen to encourage and feel that twisting action to the left corner and all the internal organs twisting. So beneficial for the body. No matter how twisted and turny life gets, be in our center, we can come back to our center. The key is to drop into the wisdom of the heart. That channel in the right direction. Flowing with grace. Okay. And from here, bending that left knee just enough to turn to the side again. And walk our hands to our ankles, forward fold it. Just a couple breaths, navel to the spine. It works to shake the head gently again and again, releasing unnecessary stuff out. Getting out of habituated thinking we may not even know we're in there. So familiar. And then coming out, you'll toe it in. And sweeping the arms out. Star pose, expansive. And then back to mountain. See where the arms want to be. Do they want to be by your side? And go back to Eagle Heart Mudra. Rooting. Grounding. Stabilizing that first chakra energy at the root. Connected deep into the earth. Security, safety. As much as we can. and then that sprinkle energy, that waterfall energy, the space all around us, reaching through the crown to the sky. Let's just do one side stretch here of half moon. Strength and courage fill my body cells. Tailbone down. Strength and courage Fill my body cells. Pulse it up. Bend the elbows, heart open. And of course, to the other side, interlocking, have the index thumb, index extended thumb, and other fingers wrapped around, arcing over, side stretch, tailbone down, feel the feet, strength of the legs, strength and courage, fill my body cells. Gaze up. And back to center. Very good. Bend the elbows. We're going to come down to the floor. Make sure you have your block by your side. So we'll do it via a pose, hinging forward. Exhaling. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, bending the knees. And we'll gradually, before we come onto our back, do our boat pose. Within every breath lies infinite power. So we'll lift that left leg, reach the arms if you can, exhale through the mouth and switch. Knee to knee. And with the opposite foot extended, within every breath lies infinite power. As you lift the heart, elongate, and then round. Take your time, shimmy, shake down. As you're shimmy shaking down, I'm getting another sip of water. And you're just going to rest and feel the earth underneath your back. Very good. Timer. Okay. So once we're on our back, we're going to open in that Pilates circle, half circle, inner borders of the feet together, knees apart, 3 times in one direction, and then 3 times in the opposite. I love figure 4, sometimes called lying down pigeon. So great for the hips. I know we did it last week, but you can't, me, it's one of these daily ones. So point and flex the right foot, and then flex that right foot and draw the knee away from you. And that triangle of space, reach through, use your elbow as a wedge. And just tune into your breath, tune into your life force energy. I read that Earth Day started 30 years ago. I mean, officially, hopefully it's been present before in their consciousness. Now, to also know that figure 4, we're not going to do it now, but certainly can be done seated like this on your forearms, or even more intense, extending. So if you just find yourself hanging out, you could do a figure 4, okay? But for our purposes here, we're going to do the walking bridge after figure 4 on each side. So first we're just going to do the knee on top of knee, or the knees together twist. Pulsing knee and shoulder, right knee and shoulder. Hydrating. And then keeping those shoulders drawn down to the earth. Sweep that right arm up and around above the head like a windshield wiper. Divine life is within me and all around me. Correct. The wisdom channel. It's not a channel. I'm just using that as a metaphor. Just, we know we're at different places. We could return to our true self versus our narrative make it a story self, adding on too much stuff, self. Divine life is within me and all around me. Heart open, engage core, coming back, folding that right knee in. Thank you, body, for all you can do, for showing up today. That's half the battle. Showing up, right, or 3/4, carving the time out. Reaching, elongate, and folding the left knee in. Button flex, and flex. Figure 4 or lying down pigeon, and that flex foot, that triangle space, we're going to reach through. Use your left elbow like a wedge, shoulders away from the ears. Meditate on the sound of the breath and sensations in the body. Any of the sensations will bring us back to the power of now. So the power is in the now. You know that. Sound. Sensation. Pulsation. As we come into our twist, either knee on top of knee or knees to the side, or any variation of twist that works for you. Lift the hips, swivel them over to the left, knees drop to the right. And we come back and forth between the knee and shoulder, knee and shoulder. And then the shoulders touch down, the knees lift up, and of course we open up this left side even more so. Divine life is within me and all around me. Just pick your mantra maybe for the day. Another way of returning or being with. And this moment-to-moment awareness, wisdom consciousness. Not to be hijacked by the other channels of the mind that can be fairly just repetitive, not in a good way. Oh, here we got Tigger joining us. Engage the core and come back up. Adjust down to the spine or swivel it so you're centered, and left knee draws in. And then we just extend for a mini Shavasana. We're not quite there yet. I'd like to do one more pose before Shavasana. Just take in solar lunar currents. Breathe in with more awareness through the right side of the body. Exhale with more awareness on the left side of the body. Do that a couple rounds. Find your mind going into self-negative judgment, bring it into compassion and awareness. Grateful for what we body can do. And we're going to do the bridge walking as our final pose. If this works for you, or feel free, of course, to break out into a pose of your choice. Something else is speaking to you. I'm going to use the higher part of the block. You're welcome to use the lower or whatever. But a prop is really helpful for our bridge walking series. So regular bridge, just to come up, we're going to lift the hips up, and we're going to lift the heels because I'm going to need a higher extension here before I get that sacrum down on the block. And then the heels come down. If your heels are up, you can lower the block. So bridge walking, left toes turn out. Take your time here. Drawing the right knee up and then extending the right leg.
reaching through the ball of the foot. If you feel like you want more grounding, plant the hands down. So, part of the theme of the class is the affirmation of this pose. Every thought can be a bridge back to my true self, back to my wisdom nature. Left knee reaches up. And then extend. You find yourself in a little bit of funk, you might say, oh, wait a minute, I forgot to change the channel. Forgot to drop into the heart, the wisdom self, the nature, sight, sound, breath. Reaching up. And extend. Every thought. Resting in the wisdom self is ideal. Once we find ourselves away from that wisdom self, we can return. That is so powerful to know that. We know all of you on the call know that. It's huge. Okay, if you have an opening here, it's wonderful. Now we get our inversion, supported inversion. We're going to ripple down, lifting the heels again, and rippling down from the upper, mid to low back. Tailbone touches. And then just see, do your knees want to come in to contain the low back? If the hips, low back's okay, you may want to go into butterfly or extended leg. I'm just feeling butterfly right now. Lower their shoulders away. And let's breathe into the central channel. Belly, heart, crown on the inhale. Beyond the crown, the energy flows. And then crown, heart, belly, feet. Say this every class, it's important. In the central channel of the spine is the neutralization of the waves of healing. One of the many definitions of yoga. Neutralizing those up and down currents, the roller coaster currents, we neutralize those. The calmness, that calm, clear energy is key for our well-being and any kind of success in life. That clarity, that calmness, that perseverance, that follow through. And the calm, clear energy is also the place to be for receiving higher guidance, asking whatever's going on in your life. You could tune in as a question. You could give it an A, B, or C kind of situation. Does this work? And just feel the energy of the body. If it's tense, probably not. If it's calm and clear, that's probably a yes. Using our intuition. And then tuning in now for what feels best for your Shavasana today. So I'm going to slowly draw the knees in. You know your choices, most likely of legs up the wall, on a chair or couch, that knee or ball. Our classic Shavasana with the bolster or more of a heart opener, the blocks. So as you get ready, I will do the same, getting cozy. Okay. Eye bags, blanket. Take care of our inner environment. Usually our outer situations, we have a better response to those. Okay.
Oh, no matter what position you're in, we're going to drop into the heart. And breathe there. Some tech stuff set up here. So acceptance of what is part of the wisdom and the power of now. And we can accept what isn't if needed. We could see if there's things to change that, but first comes the acceptance. So being as we are, being as you are, receiving the earth energy, supporting you, holding you. Notice how the breath rises and falls by itself. Of course, there's many pranayama techniques to elicit different states, but the breath just returning now to the movement that's happening. And as you exhale, you're just letting that outer surface activity melt. Just like ice melts in the warmth of the sun. Letting the face, the muscles, facial muscles soften. Muscles and nerves around the eyes deeply relax. And the gentle inward focus, if that speaks to you, to the spiritual eye. Softly upward gaze with the eyes closed. Deeply relaxing the jaw, especially the root of the tongue. The teeth, the gums, the lips. The shoulders softening away from the ears, and radiant sensation streaming down the arms. Notice pulsation in the palms of the hands, the fingers, the thumbs. And just for now, if thinking mind comes in, just try to release anything and planning, doing, becoming, just for now, let it soften, achieving, let it soften. Same with various emotions that come and go. Trying to change them, but not really following them, just returning to the breath and the wisdom of the heart, the quiet wisdom of the heart. Relaxing all control right now. All seeking to get anything or anywhere. Just being here now. No need for armoring, protecting. In fact, the opposite, a softening and an allowing and a being. Just feel the belly movement, the deep belly breathing, the natural rising and falling. Earth continues to support the legs, the thighs, the knees, the calves, ankles, toes, heels, soles of the feet. Relaxed and gently aware. Turning again and again to what's already whole, already free, already aware. Our essential self. Just notice if this is a time for you to return to movement or not. And if it is, you're going to wiggle the fingers and toes and just take your time and transitioning perhaps to your side in the fetal pose, or staying if your body's just really melting into deep restoration. It's the beauty of home practice. And if you are transitioning, or if you're staying in Shavasana, we could still send those healing prayers of care through sound to others and through intention and visualization. So you'll visualize at the spiritual eye anyone you know that you'd like to send healing energy to that may be needing it, or of course it could be the planet, right? Earth Day, nations, leaders, wherever your heart goes to send healing energy to tune into that now. I like to rub the hands together. It's up to you if you like to generate that heat. The main thing is the intention and the sound. The 3-syllable Om sound 3 times. Inhale. Ah. Oh. Ah. Ah. Bringing in the hands together and namaste, bowing to the wisdom of the heart, letting it lead the way. In that consciousness, that's where we are one. And I will turn off the recording.